Welcome to Eye Level to High Level, where real talk meets real results. I'm Jimmy Rios, and each week we break down the mindset, money moves, and strategies you need to elevate your life and business. Let's level up. Welcome to the Eye Level to High Level podcast. This is Jimmy Rios. I'm your host. I'm so excited to be here. I'm always excited, but I've been doing this for a while, and we built this company, Eye Level to High Level, to really help entrepreneurs get to another level in their lives. And that when I started my business, when I started thinking about entrepreneurship, I was already older. I was already in the latter stages in my 20s, and I still didn't know exactly what or how I was going to do it, but it took me a long time to get to that stage, to get to that next level. I made a lot of mistakes, and I had a lot of sufferings, but I couldn't imagine doing what these guys that I'm going to have on the show today at the age of 17. You heard that right. 17 years old. These gentlemen are professionals. They're masters in a field that we're going to have them explain what they do and how they do it. But I always highlight individuals for more than just what they do. A lot of what I talk about is mindset, and the thought process of being an entrepreneur is not easy to come by. It doesn't just happen by osmosis. You either have it or you don't. And when I met these two, I was blown away. I have two twin boys that are 17 years old, and they reminded me a lot of my twins. And I was a twin, and I remember being 17, right? And so all these things started coming to my mind, and I just thought, the first thing I thought was I got to get these guys on the show. So today, I have the pleasure of having Robert and David on our show, and I want to really highlight that the show is going to be called From Hustle to Mastery, because that's what it is. These guys have taken on something that is not easy. By no means is it easy. And I've seen what they did at my home in detailing in my vehicle, and a brand new vehicle that I bought, and making it even more beautiful than it is. And there's an art to what they're doing, and I really want to bring this out because it was just amazing. So, guys, how are you?
We're good.
Good, man. I really appreciate you guys driving all the way from Maricopa. Maricopa is almost about 45 minutes away. So
50 minutes, yeah.
They took a little trek to come see us and be here in the studio. But tell us a little bit about who you are and the name of your company and what you guys do.
Yeah.
We'll start here, and then we'll go back and forth.
For sure. So my name is David. I was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I had moved to the States about 14 or 15-ish years ago. And I had moved into Maricopa about 2-ish years ago. And I ended up partnering up with my buddy Robert, and we ended up starting Reflections a little bit after he not necessarily came up with the name, but started it himself. And then I kind of tagged along and joined him. So it's always been a pleasure working together, and I look forward to it almost every day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm Robert. I co-founded the Reflections. I moved from California about 7 years ago, so I've been in Maricopa for quite a bit. So yeah.
And the name of the company is?
It's Reflections Auto Detailing.
Reflections Auto Detailing. Now, you're 17 years old. When are you guys going to be 18?
We're going to be 18 March 21st, and then his is March 22nd.
Yeah, March 22nd.
So this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And you guys are in school?
Yeah, so I still go to public school.
High school?
High school. I'm in the 12th grade. My schedule varies and stuff. And so I can still work around my school schedule, but I find it to be a little bit tricky sometimes, but I still try to keep both things balanced and still pursue what I love and also get my education in a little bit. So never hurt nobody.
Now, how did the company start? And when did it start officially?
Yeah.
So back in California, my dad started it. He used to do it with my uncle. He did it for quite a while. I would say about 4 years. He mastered the craft in detailing. He had the full mobile setup. He was pretty good over there. He had a lot of clients. And then when we moved over to Arizona, we moved and he stopped doing it. He started working for an auto body shop. He learned how to do wet sanding, painting, and then the detailing stopped for a while, and then I started it back up when I turned 16. I was looking for a job. It was pretty hard to get a job, so
Right, especially in Maricopa.
yeah,
It's very tricky.
so I got some money. I got a pressure washer. Started watching YouTube. I was looking like how to get money, and a lot of mobile detailing was going good. So I knew my dad did it. So I used to do it back with my dad in California. So I had some experience, and then I just used that knowledge, just try to do what I.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now you both, I saw you guys working, and you both put a lot of effort into what you do. You're a good team, like I guess Batman and Robin, or Robin and Batman. They both work. They both feed off each other. They both have their roles, and they both do really well. Right. You guys seem to feed off each other and work very well together. That teamwork, that effort. Has there ever been a time where, I have a twin brother. I have twins that fight and argue and have dissent. Have you guys ever come across situations where you guys are battling?
Believe it or not, more times than I can count, honestly. Really? Not because of the fact that we don't get along with each other, that we're like bad partners in a way, but more in the sense that we're both human at the end of the day. We still both feel emotions, and we both still go through regular things. So sometimes he can have a bad day, and it's not in the sense of, he takes it out on me or anything like that. It's just things tend to happen. So it's just kind of how you deal with them. And if I have an off day, I might be acting off at work, and I just sometimes want to go into a job and just get it done. Show up and get done. But sometimes it's just not that easy. Sometimes you just got to step back from what you have going on in your personal life and put your business first and put yourself in those shoes and be like, you know what? I'm not having a good day, but I can't take that out on my work. Neither can I take it out on my partner.
Right.
He's been here for me for a good while, and I've been there for him when he needed me as well. So that's why we work really well together. Although everybody fights, even in marriages, even in just teams and
partnerships
things like that.
are some of the hardest things that you'll ever go through. I've had many. I'm married. I had a prior marriage, and that didn't work out. So I applaud both of you for having the maturity at this age to be able to work through those problems. Because at the same time, running a business with a partner can have its own set of challenges. Right?
It definitely can. And I feel like one way that I try to keep our friendship and our work balanced in a way is that I try to keep in a sense of okay, we might have a week that we're fully booked out and we're both just head to head with each other, just irritated that we have so much work and everything's piling up, not just maybe in school, at home, and work combined. That can get to be a lot for some of us. But how I try to balance that is that, you know what, the times that we're off the clock and that we can just go home and kind of rest, I call him and I'm like, hey man, you want to just sit down and talk for a little bit? Yeah. We can talk about how we're doing and just how the business is going. Do you feel like we need to invest in more things? Do you feel like we need to change our ways? What do you feel like our strengths have been? I feel like I had this conversation with him about a week ago. Yeah. And just really sitting down, putting the detailing aside, putting the cars aside, just asking him from person to person, how do you think you're really doing? And how do you think we're really doing? Right. And honest feedback, and no, I don't take criticism to a bad level. So he can sit here and tell me, hey man, you've had a pretty bad attitude these past few days. I'm like, hey, you get what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I've been going through some things or whatever that may be. But at the end of the day, we work through it, because then that basically gives me a reality check of hey, you get what I'm saying? Kind of cut this out a little bit. So
that's amazing.
It all works out.
Tell me a little bit about your ability to manage your time. You guys have busy schedules, right? Just in and of itself. But it's very tempting if you get when I got these guys, I was at church on a Sunday, and I ironically I looked it up on ChatGPT just to see what it recommended for auto detailing in Maricopa, and these guys popped up as inside the top 3. And I don't know the algorithms of ChatGPT, how that works, but obviously that said something. And when I looked into it, without knowing their age, nothing. The professionalism in how that was brought out was very important, and that made an impression on me. But more than that was the fact that as I'm texting them while I'm, at church, which I wasn't supposed to, right? But as I'm texting them, they responded like that, really quick. And within about 5-10 minutes, they were at my church in the parking lot, literally doing the walk around, giving me a quote, which I thought was extremely awesome, right? More so because of customer service and immediacy and all those things. But again, that's on a Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's in Maricopa specifically. I have a hard time getting any service provider, landscapers, plumber, to really come out and do what they're supposed to do. You guys at 17 did it, and that impressed on me. But how do you guys manage to it must be very tempting to want to take a call or to want to miss school, to do those things for the money, right? But you guys, there's a strength in understanding the education, the building blocks, the discipline, the commitments that go behind finishing school and doing those things. I never want to take that away from any entrepreneur, right? In achieving higher levels of learning. How do you do it? How do you manage?
So I still have my priorities. I do online school.
Yeah.
So that gives me a bonus. So when I wake up, I check my phone, give out quotes, do what I have to do.
Okay.
And then when we do the jobs, we always have a schedule. So we have a calendar, and every job we get, we put on the calendar. We have our days that we're busy. We have that on the calendar. So we always know where to put the jobs where and what we're doing for the day. And so, but when we're done with the jobs, I run all the Google, the Facebook, the Instagram, all the marketing. So at night, when I finish up with the day, I go on my computer. I spend 1 hour each night just marketing.
Yeah.
So I basically have a set schedule throughout the day, so I know what I'm looking for.
You do the marketing.
Yeah.
You both do a lot of the physical work,
yeah.
Yes.
Right? And what would you say is your strength in?
So where my strength comes in is more of, and this was kind of a little bit of a mutual agreement that we made when we first started working together. I told him, hey, because I'm not too big on social media. Believe it or not, I might be 17 years old, but I'm not too big on social media.
A misconception, right?
Exactly.
Everybody thinks that just because you're 17 that you're always on TikTok.
Right.
Always on your
And
phone.
don't get me wrong, I scroll a lot.
Sure.
I'm always on my phone, but I feel like he had more of the expertise of the professionalism on how to word certain sentences and certain scripts, to the point that I felt like he could catch more eyes and catch more leads by his way of formatting our ads or our marketing. So then I said, you know what? You can hold the marketing, you can hold the ads, you can hold basically all the online stuff, the bookings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and I'm going to study. I'm going to study everything. I want to know what every chemical does. Wow. I want to put myself in every single situation there is possible.
So you went into research and development.
Everything. If there's cement on your car, I know how to take it out, and that's a promise. If there's paint on your car, I know how to take it out. I've done... And it's specifically in the lineup of chemicals that we have. Right. It's not easy to get your hands on it.
Right.
But just because it may be easier for me, just because we are mobile detailers, that doesn't mean that I just go into the store and pick any product.
Sure.
I've done my own research, countless hours, countless reading. I don't read a book. I don't read a book. Trust me, I don't read a book, but I will read anything about a chemical. Anything about detailing, I'll read for days and hours on end. When I wake up in the morning, even when I go to school, even if I have free time in school, I'll watch YouTube videos based on different routines, different products, because my job at the end of the day is to make sure that we're running smoothly. Right. So not only do I have the knowledge on the chemicals, Robert comes up to me, hey, this car has some tar on this. How do we get this out? Boom. Here's that. So I teach him some of that stuff on top of the knowledge he already has, but most importantly, I'm more knowledge-based in what it is. So I study a lot.
See, you guys are listening to something that for many entrepreneurs, it takes them years to learn, right? This is about from hustle to mastery. This is to become a master, to become an expert master in your field. They say you need about 10,000 hours, right? 10,000 hours of dedicated work in that field, These guys are 17 years old. They don't have 10,000 hours right now.
No, we don't.
Right? So, but what happens, what separates them from the rest is the dedication, the time that's allotted to learn their trade, right? This is where it becomes crucial to understand, because detailing a car is not just going and spraying water and soap, right? When I met with them, they went deep. I'm talking about the misconception of using a towel, right, versus what they were using to clean that car and to dry it, and the to the science of what chemicals were being used. And I mean, it went deep. It
Yes.
went deep.
Yes,
And
it
I
does.
taped
Lots
them,
of it.
I videotaped them talking about it, and I watched it later, and I was blown away even more, because you guys understand, like, I could talk about my financial services ecosystem the back of my hand. I'm 49 years old. I'm going to be 50. And I started doing this when I was in my 20s. So I got 25 years to be able to learn from a lot, or to be able to talk about this like it's nothing.
Right.
When I see these guys and they're telling me that they started a couple years ago, right? Instead of not even
A
16,
year.
right? That tells me a lot. That tells me the dedication and the work ethic that goes behind the scenes, right? Of course, case studies, right? And working on the cards, and that speaks volumes, because that's where you get a lot of your experience,
Yes.
tactfully, right? And working on things. But the behind the scenes is where you guys differentiate. Let me ask you guys a couple questions about this. This is what we call lessons and growth, right? So nobody likes to talk about mistakes, right? But I think one of the biggest things we learn as we're developing into getting into other levels of expertise or next levels is the ability to look in the mirror and accept responsibility and accountability. How have you guys, and tell me each, how have you guys done that in accepting your faults, your weaknesses, and also looking at your strengths, right? How do you do that? Let's start over there.
So, first off, one mistake that I've made was just not knowing what chemicals I was using.
Yeah.
So when I first started off, I just went into Walmart, got regular chemicals. But when I was using them in the sun, in Arizona heat, it was summer. So
Ooh.
so that's one of the things you really got to watch out for.
Right.
So I was doing an interior cleaning on leather, and with the chemicals I was using, it just wasn't, it didn't fit with the hot leather.
Right.
So it kind of affected the leather and didn't come out with a good result. But one thing I did own up to her. I told her when I was done with it, like, hey, this did not work. And I just gave her a full refund. I didn't charge her, but I did the rest of the car for free.
Wow.
But it was just the leather,
Plus the time,
Yeah, the time.
right?
I went
you lost
to her.
the time, right?
Yeah.
But you learned a lot.
Yeah, it was a good learning experience. After that, I learned the pH levels of the products. Did all my research on the products, the right and wrong ways to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good learning lesson for me.
Still haven't been sued yet.
Nah.
Luckily not. Oh, let's hope that day never comes.
Tell us about you.
So
for you.
mine was, I was detailing a Hyundai Elantra N, and I was working on the outside. Again, Arizona sun, middle 12 o'clock on probably a Wednesday. It was very hot.
Yeah.
So I sprayed this bug spray on the front bumper of the car, the mirrors, the windshield, but then the front hood. And that hood was right there on the sun. I guess I probably took a little bit too long
Take it off.
to take it off, or my dilution ratio was wrong, making it too powerful. So the moment it hit that paint, it just etched
Stuck.
immediately.
It stuck.
So yes.
Wow.
So after I had done washing the entire car and everything, those spots weren't coming off.
Oh.
But luckily, I had learned that I could just polish them off. So I polished them off, but I got that resolved, and I was true to the client, just like him. And I told her, hey, I had encountered this problem while doing this. I'm sorry, that's completely my fault. But hey, here, I fixed it. So, believe it or not, this was before me and him had partnered up.
Yeah.
Because before this, I started my own company, and then I partnered up with him.
Okay.
I called him in the moment, asking him, like, hey, man, you got any extra compound? I'm almost running out. And he was like, no, he wasn't available.
So you
in the
guys were
moment.
each kind of doing your own thing.
Yeah. So how we met was in school. So I always knew him from school, and then we kind of parted our own ways, and then we always just stayed in touch, though, because I always knew he was into the same thing as me.
Right.
But moving on from that, I learned from my mistake, and then from there I used to, first of all, that cleaner was very, very difficult for me to understand, and it had a specific sodium oxide, I believe, that made the chemical very, very difficult to use. So I turned to a different chemical that doesn't have that sodium oxide in it, and it can still provide good results as far as removing bugs and as a good pre-wash and removing dirt, but in a safe manner.
So I hear a lot of science behind this.
There definitely
There's
is.
a lot,
And
yeah.
believe it or not, I never did good in any of my science classes.
Right.
Nothing. Nothing.
But this is cool because I wasn't a science geek myself. But when you're working on something, like it takes on a different aura of necessity to learn.
Yeah.
And it's happened to me where maybe I wasn't into certain things, options trading or different, areas of interest. But because of the nature of my work, it led me to have to start studying and learning or reading about people, places, different things that related to it, so I could master and be able to talk about it, right? And so that is taking it to another level as well, because I mean, I would have gotten scared talking about. I don't even know how to spell sodium oxide.
Yeah.
I do, but you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it can
it's
get-
daunting,
it can get a little tricky,
right?
yeah,
Because there's a
for
lot of
sure.
different chemicals that the reactions can change, and
Yeah.
the
Different
the
temperatures,
weather and
different
all these things, right?
Yeah.
There's a
so,
lot of factors.
So that tells me a lot as well. Is that being able to go deeper into your trade, that's huge. Right?
Definitely. So,
Let me ask you, and this is very important because I don't think our schools teach it enough of it. What do you think entrepreneurship, or do you think entrepreneurship should be taught earlier in school?
I have a very, very strong belief for that. For the fact that some people come out of school confused. Some of them come out scared. Some of them believe that, hey, and I was under this impression for a little bit that you need to go to school for however long, and then after you're done out of high school, you need to go do another 5 years in college, and then you need to master whatever you
traditional-
get out of college.
Yeah.
That
The traditional
mindset, yeah.
like American
they
dream,
teach
they
you.
call it.
Like if you don't do this, then you're considered bad.
Exactly.
And it's not like that anymore.
But that's not true
Right,
at all.
right.
But I'm here to tell you what is true.
Yeah.
You can sit here, you can watch other people, and you can learn. You think that those people that you watch on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and you see maybe the nice cars that they
Right.
have, or
The bling.
the money they have, or maybe the jewelry.
Yeah.
You think that that's too far-fetched for you to get? I'm telling you here, no, it's not. You can always sit here and look. Maybe some people, you want to day trade, or you want to sit here and start your own business, or you want to get into stocks, Bitcoin, crypto, gold,
Anything.
silver, anything.
Right.
Get into it.
Yeah.
Learn. Take a little bit of that time out of your day that you would put into scrolling all those YouTube videos and everything.
Right.
Put it into learning. Instead of watching YouTube videos about something that's not going to benefit you,
Right.
watch something that will benefit you and something that you're going to learn that makes you want to get up every single morning and pursue it.
Man, that's a gem. And see, this is why I wanted you guys on here, right? Different generation, right? You guys get a bad rap in your generation. I'll be honest, not because you're not smart. I think you guys are one of the smartest generations ever. You've been given tools, with AI and Google, all these different learning tools, right? I just think that our older generations don't understand your generation.
That is
And I do,
Yeah.
because I work with people in your generation, my kids included, and I talk to them. I have very open conversations to learn how you guys think, right? How you act, why you do the things you do, right? And there's a lot of good that comes from that, right? But you guys are setting yourselves up differently. And I love it because you haven't forsaken some of the traditional. Yeah, you're still going to school. You're still.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. But you guys are moving in a different direction, right? Tell us a little bit about what is that mindset that needs to be had to do this on a day by day basis, right? Let's start with you, and then we'll come back.
One of the mindsets, it really is just you just got to get up and do something. So like with our detailing, every day we have to wake up, we do work, and then we go home and we learn. We always learn. So there's a lot of knowledge online. People see like people being lazy, just TikTok scrolling. But us, we go look up what we want to learn, and we perfect the craft. So like even when we're not working, we try to stay busy. We try to like put time into the business every day.
That's perfect.
Exactly. And it's just like some days I'll look at our calendar and it's like, oh, maybe I have this day off or that day off. That day is never off because of the fact that the mindset that you need to have for something like this, you need to wake up and you got to be hungry.
Wow.
You need to be very, very hungry.
Yeah.
I wake up almost every day, as much as I want to sit here in bed and watch Netflix all day, as much as I want to do that and just eat snacks and just live the dream, I can't. You get what I'm saying? I sit here and I'll learn about things online, or maybe I want it to be more of a hands-on off day, I'll call it. So, about when I was first starting to get into detailing, I thought that headlight restoration was a little bit out of my reach. But I had watched a bunch of videos, read a few scripts, found some products and things like that, and I said, you know what? I'll never know if I don't go out and try it. Let me go and practice on these. Let me go and practice on that. I don't know how to remove this stain or that stain. Let me go practice from this. So every single thing that I feel like I second guess myself on, I'll try it over and over and over and over and over again until I get comfortable with it.
A lot of trial and error.
Everything is trial and error for me. There's been so many things that I felt were so out of reach that I couldn't learn. Yeah. There's been nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. I'm not saying that there's nothing that I can't perfect anymore.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm the best.
No, 'cause there's always...
Every single day I learn something new, and every single day I feel like I get a little bit better.
I'm so glad that we're going to do another episode because there's so many things that I got to ask you guys.
Yeah.
As a business advisor, we built a corporation that really thrives on helping business owners, young, old, small, big, whatever, in developing strategies and scaling and being able to grow. One of the hardest things I found for business owners in adopting habits, proper habits, is because of their ego. Right? Their ego doesn't allow them sometimes to accept listening to somebody else tell them you should do this, or you might be a little weak here. You know, how can we do things better here? And that keeps them from growing. Right? Mm-hmm. You guys are at a formidable stage in your business where you're starting to see things. What are some areas of concern that you may feel weak in for your business? Like I already heard where you guys are strong and what you guys are doing right. But obviously, in running a business, there's a lot of things, right? You're wearing a lot of hats. What would you guys think and say to the public are some things that you guys feel you need to work on?
Well, one thing, there's always room for improvement. You can never just stop. You can never just stop and just think you're the best. One thing that we've been working on is more the marketing, because right now we're booked, but we're not booked prior 2 weeks in advance. Right. That's our next goal. Right now is really just the beginning, and I think there's a lot more room for improvement. So every day we try to learn, improve, and get bookings. Right. But some days we still have off. Yeah.
How do you get more people to know who you are, to get bookings, to get that phone ringing or emails or, yeah?
One of the main things is just has to be wherever I am, I feel like I'm honestly a walking brand. My car's fully wrapped in the Reflections Auto Detailing logo. Right. 9 times out of 10, you'll catch me wearing my shirt, either passing out a business card or looking at a nice car and talking to the owner. Yeah. Every single interaction.
Everybody has cars.
That's what I'm saying. Right? So every single time that you wake up and you go to work, what do you use to get in there? 9 times out of 10, a car.
And let's be real. I love the way I feel when I'm driving in a detailed car. It feels like the car drives better, right? But I feel better, confident. I feel strong. There's an aura of invincibility when you're in your chariot, right? As the knight in my chariot. So I love what you guys are doing. We're gonna, we're going to talk more about business because I need you guys to really start thinking outside the box and getting to that next level, right? And in the next show, we're going to go a little deeper, right? You guys are kings. You guys are not 17-year-olds in my mind. I think 17 is just a number, right? I think that you guys are working at a very high level of thought, maturity, and experience, right? Because you're learning, right? You're learning how to be accountable and where you need to get better, right? In business, we got to look at more than just what we do. We got to look at the foundation. We got to look at the future and how to project so that we can start getting more bookings. If I get more bookings, how am I going to handle the demand, right? There's only two of us, right? How do we do more business? Because I might have to duplicate myself, right? There's only one of you each, right? Individually, but we got to start thinking differently. So on our next show, we're going to dive a little deeper into some mechanics, into some things that I love to talk about. And I really want to thank everybody. I want to thank, first of all, the kings of the show here, Robert and David. You guys have been just exactly what I wanted on the show. It elevates and makes this better. I think a lot of people are going to get a lot from the show, and you guys are doing it, and I appreciate you coming on. Everybody that's listening, we got to take ourselves to the next level. We got to elevate and start being accountable. Start taking yourself serious. This is not a hobby. This is our life. This is our legacy. This is why we do what we do. This is why we're crazy. This is why we do 12, 24 hours and we're nonstop, because we want to achieve more. We want to get better, but we also want to get better with ourselves. Mind, body, and spirit. You got to be balanced. I give this all to God, and to helping us get and help others is a very important thing, right? So let's talk on the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and always keep God first. Thanks for tuning in to Eye Level to High Level. If you're ready to rise above the average, subscribe, share, and follow us for more ways to take your grind to greatness. Until next time, keep pushing higher.